Okay, welcome everybody. Another Wednesday, another 1 million cups.
Yes, sir.
Got a couple of people here today. Thank you all for coming today, especially this early in the morning. So, I mean, it's a Wednesday anyway, so
Hump day.
I guess you kind of have to get up early anyway. But to start things off, we're going to go over just a quick little history of 1 million cups, and then we'll get into April's presentation.
Hi, April.
Everybody say hi to April.
Hi, April. We're excited.
Hi.
And then after her presentation, we'll have a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we'll just close it up from there. So thanks to the Kauffman Foundation, 1 Million Cups is here and sponsoring us. This is the reason why we're here. The Kauffman Foundation is a foundation that focuses on entrepreneurial communities to increase opportunities that allow people to learn, take risks, and own their successes. So if you've never been here before, I have we have two new faces here today, Michelle and Nick. So if you guys want to say hi to them. They're here and they're ready to learn. 1 Million Cups is a free weekly program that educates, engages, and connects local entrepreneurs, all while lowering the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. And when I say throughout the United States, I mean throughout the United States. They first started back in April 2012 with one community. Now they operate in more than 40 plus states all across the US. And I believe in 22, they have 184 communities. So I need to upgrade the sides pretty soon, but yes. So typically each community has 1 to 2 presentations a week. All of them are 6-minute presentations followed by a 15-minute Q&A. And they are every Wednesday at 9 o'clock on the dot on Zoom or in person. So if you want to join our community or maybe just follow our chapter on the 1MC platform, there's a link right there you can click or go to and follow. Please do that. And well, April, are you ready to present?
I am.
All right. It is all you.
Sure.
Okay. And can you guys hear me well? I know I sound a little masculine this morning. I'm still recovering just a bit, but.
Oh, sorry, we can hear you.
You
Yeah,
sound just fine.
yeah, you sound great.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let me get my screen. You all sound so bright and just alert. It's actually 12 o'clock p.m. here. I'm on the East Coast. So I've been up and at 'em for a little bit now.
So yeah, the early thing wasn't really pertaining to you.
I commend you. I commend you all. Okay. Let me get in presentation mode. All right, so here we go. I am the CEO and founder of Sure, which is ready-made plant-based milk for babies and toddlers. A little bit about me. I'm a mom, obviously. I have 4 kiddos, guys, 4 kiddos between the ages of 10 months and 11 years old. So I am super busy, but I truly believe that moms know best, right? I truly believe that. So I know there's some men in the room, I think at least 1 or 2, but I have to back my moms on this. I truly believe we know best. My background is in sales and business development, and I actually work now as an account manager in the healthcare staffing industry. So basically what that means is we place doctors across the country, we connect into jobs. So that's a little bit about me, and then more about Sure. All right, so a little story time. Like I said, I have 4 kids, 3 girls and 2 boys. When we had our 3rd baby, we brought her home about 3 years ago, and we had planned to breastfeed her just as we did our first 2 kids. Unfortunately, we ran into some hiccups about a week and a half, 2 weeks in, and we had to go ahead and start to use a formula. So we tried a formula that we had actually tried before, and unfortunately we're unsatisfied. Our baby started to spit up. She started to get skin eczema, and then she Also just seem gassy and irritated all the time. And so that led us to trying to figure out, is there a way that we can create a natural, all natural, 100% vegan, ready-made formula? We did some extensive research and we got our family involved, we got our pediatrician involved, and ultimately came up with a healthy recipe that provided that complete nutrition without some of those yucky ingredients that are sometimes found in the formulas that are on the market. So the problem that we're solving are, the health concerns that come about due to the harmful ingredients found in the formulas on the market, the high cost, right? Because there's not a lot of flexibility in the bundle options. And then there's no ready-made 100% vegan options on the market. They do have some plant-based options, but most of them are going to be that powder, what most people are familiar with, the powder formulation. And then also trust has been lost among the longstanding competition. So I'm not sure if any of you are parents, but most of you probably know about the current events, right? With the infant formula shortage and things like that. So there's a lot that's going on. It's a super sensitive industry right now. And so we're not claiming to save the day, but we are claiming to be another safe option that moms can trust. So I've talked about this a little bit already, but again, we are a ready-made vegan breast milk alternative, and we want to offer this in a subscription-based format. A lot of what we heard from our customer interviews is that the cost is just astronomical, right? So you're gonna pay anywhere between $3 to $7 per bottle, and each child about between the ages of 3 to 6 months, you're gonna have about 150 bottles per month. So you can see how that begins to add up. And so we want to be able to offer the solution that helps moms to save money. It's going to be convenient because they're not going to have to actually mix and make it themselves. And of course, it's for moms and by moms. So here's just a couple of photos that I wanted to share because we are still pre-revenue and we are pre-launch. So we are planning to launch this upcoming summer, but I feel like visuals kind of help you to be able to see the direction that we're going into. And so these packets right here, you might be familiar with if you've ever gone down the baby aisle or the kids aisle and you saw the applesauce pouches. That's the packaging that we want to use for our formula. Some of the ingredients that are found in our formula are almonds, because most people say, well, what makes it plant-based? How did it get their protein? How did they get the carbs? So we're going to have an almond-based version, and then we're also going to have a coconut milk version. So we do plan to go direct to consumer, and we're going to start small. I want to under promise and over deliver. And so we're really going to start I'm in North Carolina, I'm based in North Carolina. We're going to start in North Carolina and then branch out from there, but we are going to be accessible online through our e-commerce platform. Again, we talked about the subscription-based business model, just to be able to kind of space out the investment a little bit for the consumer. And then also affiliate program is something that we are considering doing. We really want to be able to capitalize on other mom influencers, right, who have a similar target audience as we do, to be able to help us to kind of spread the word about what we're doing, who we are, our brand, and our product. And then accessibility. So one of my true passions is making sure that all babies have access to our product and not just the moms who can necessarily afford it. So we do plan to come out with a generic brand at some point so that everyone, all the babies, can have access to Sure. So that's an overview. I'm pretty sure you might have some questions that we can dive deeper into, but feel free to check out our website as well, thesurecompany.com, and sign up for our email list. We will be giving away free samples of our plant-based milk. And so thank you so much.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, does anybody have any questions? Ken?
So will you be able to use it at room temperature, or do you heat it up like you would something else, or mix it with water? Or
Yes, you can heat it up. It's not required at all whatsoever. But of course, with the smaller babies, as a mom, I've found that especially when they're younger, they just prefer that almost as close to breast milk as you can. So maybe room temperature, not too warm, obviously. But yeah, you would have the option to heat it up or just do room temp.
Awesome. So Anita in the chat says or asks, will it be available this summer 2022 or in summer 2023 goal?
This summer.
Nice.
What is your launch strategy, April?
So that's something that we are honestly a little bit challenged with. We do have a couple of the components kind of tacked down, which is we are building out an advisory board. And so we have doctors that are coming on board with us to kind of help us to, they have a lot of the power, I guess, when it comes to getting their patients to use a certain type of formula, right? When we ask our moms, you know, why did you pick this one or why did you choose this one over that one? It's because their doctor told them to. And so building out our advisory board is a huge part of that. And then even if we don't have those pediatricians or doctors on our board, we do plan to send out samples to them as well so that they can also, you know, share with their patients. Going back to what I was saying about the affiliate program, but a little different. We plan to reach out to influencers and share samples with them in hopes that they will review our product or even allow us to come onto their platform and do an interview with them as well. I'm not really well-versed on ad spend or social media ads in general, and we don't have a large budget for it right now. And so that's one of the things that maybe there's opportunity for us to tap into that, but we're really just trying to exhaust all of the organic options that we can that are low cost as well.
You have no outside investment right now, or do you have investors?
So no, we do not have any investors. We have been bootstrapping this from the very beginning. And then we also did get a 10K grant. It's called NC Idea Micro Grant that we were awarded back in the fall of last year. And so we do continue to seek out different grant opportunities. We have been approached by investors, especially, like I said, with everything going on in the world around infant formula. But we just weren't really in a place to have those conversations because we were still so early on in the formulation. We didn't have the hard numbers of what is our product going to cost? What is it costing us? Because we were still dealing with supply chain issues. So I think after this upcoming month, we'll be in a better position to be able to talk investments.
Where are you producing it and how much are you producing now, I guess, or to get the samples?
Yeah, so we have two manufacturers that we're working with. One is called North Carolina Food and Innovation Lab. They are based out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, and they are an extension of NC State. And so they are the ones that have really taken on the formulation of this. So we've given them our recipe to tweak and to make sure that it really checks all of the boxes of what an infant formula should have and should include, right? Because they're the experts in this. It's not that I'm not an expert in it. And so I want to make sure I am linking arms with the pros, right? Because this is something that's going to be, you know, given to the most fragile beings on earth, right? So they're the ones who are fine-tuning our formulation. And then we actually have a handoff call tomorrow with our actual manufacturer who's going to scale for us. And they are based out of Raleigh. So they're about an hour from us, but they're called Synovatech. So they'll be doing about, to start off, 5,000 bottles per batch. And then as we see fit, we'll be able to, and it only takes a day to run that 5,000 bottle batch. But again, like I told you guys, we're kind of starting small and making sure that we give ourselves room to be able to make any tweaks and changes as we go. But if we needed to up that scale, we could.
Okay. And this, how is the testing as far as like making sure when babies and toddlers ingest that all is good? I mean, have you tested on people? I guess is my question.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It's a great question.
Yeah. And it was like, how was that going and how did that
I
go?
was thinking what that process was like.
Yeah,
too.
same here.
Yeah, so great question. So we have tested it and it's so funny, but my kid was a guinea pig for it because when we were making it for her, she used it for the first year of her life. Before I even knew that I was going to turn this into a business, what made me decide to do that is I went live on a platform that I was building out at the time called Modern Mom Fix, which is basically for busy moms like myself. And we kind of share what works for us, share our pains, and kind of gain support from one another. And so I went on, I was talking about how I had the postpartum depression. I was talking about the milk and kind of making it while my baby was wrapped around me. And we got a lot of engagement, and we ended up getting about 1,000 views that day, which for a new platform for me at that time was like a lot. And so that's what really tickled the entrepreneur in me. And I was like, you know what, there may be some moms and a market out here for this product. And so that's what led me to start walking in the dark and really figuring this thing out along the way. And so during that time, we also had moms that were so interested and so desperate that they were like, listen, could you just share your recipe with me so that we can try it for our baby? Because at this point, we've tried every formula that's on the market and it's not working for us. And so we gave the recipe. And they tried it on their baby. The baby stopped spitting up. The skin rashes started to go away. And so all they could point it back to was the fact that they stopped using what they were using and they made the switch to Sure. Well, before then, at that time, we didn't know it was Sure, but to our milk. And so that's the testing that we've done, but we've had some checks and balances in place too. Our manufacturer is covering all of the testing. They're going to be sending out samples to go to other food scientists to actually make sure everything is checking out after the formulation process, that the levels are still where they need to be. The vitamins and the minerals are still present at the levels that they need to be. And then we'll be good to go. We'll get that final green light.
Awesome. And do you have somebody that's doing your marketing? I'm just thinking your launch, press releases to your local media could trickle out.
That would be me. So I'm wearing all of the hats right now. I have to mention my husband as an honorary co-founder, just because he was really in the weeds of it with me in the very beginning when we were trying to figure out everything with our own baby. And so he played a great part on the beginning end of this, but he has his own business and he's an entrepreneur as well. And so yes, right now I've been wearing majority of the hats. However, I've been trying to be strategic. And so I've been calling on interns, being a part of different programs that are offered by universities where they are the ones that foot the bill to allow MBA students to come on board and work on certain projects for small businesses and entrepreneurs. So at this point, I have a team of 5 college students that are working on just different tasks that just kind of clears my plate a little bit so that I can focus on things that are more high priority.
That's great. You can ask a question.
Go ahead,
I think
Eva.
Eva had a question.
Eva says this is great. The biggest issue would be manufacturing, scaling, and partnering. I don't know if that's a question.
Comment, yeah.
Or comment.
Eva's actually our director of Chico Start that hosts 1 billion. We're an incubation entrepreneur-based resource organization for our region. And so she's on Zoom. She said the biggest issue would be manufacturing, scaling, and partnering.
Have you run into any issues that you could maybe talk about?
Not with manufacturing. In the beginning, just trying to find a manufacturer was hard. But since we have found our partners who we're working with now, it's mainly just been a process. So I wouldn't say, we've had to do some pivots. We started out thinking that this was going to be a dissolvable tablet. And now we are at a ready-made formula, you know what I mean? So there have been some changes and we've just kind of been going with the flow and we just haven't given up yet. It's been some tough times, but ultimately, our biggest challenge right now is just navigating that FDA and legal space, right? We do not want to get into any hot water with the FDA. And so what we're having to do, because we can't technically call it an infant formula, which is why it's a ready-made plant-based milk for babies and toddlers. We can't call it an infant formula until we get FDA approval. And that process is what is going to take a little bit longer and it would push our speed to market. It would delay our speed to market. And so what we have seen other similar companies do is call it a complete nutrition beverage or a breast milk alternative. And so that's the route that we're going. And I honestly think that might be where we stay for the next couple of years or so. I don't think it's going to be super. We'll see what the people say, but I don't think it's going to be a necessity to get the FDA approval to be able to start to sell and to really get the buy-in from our customers, especially once they see the ingredient list for themselves. I think they're really at a place where they want something new that works, that they can trust, and that's natural. A lot of people are more health conscious now, right? So I just think it's the perfect timing for us to emerge.
Yeah, I agree.
So Anita has a question in chat. She asks, have you come up with a price point?
So we have literally, as of yesterday, just finalized our formulation. So that means gotten all the costs and everything like that. So we have not solidified that price point, but I can tell you that it will be the average right now that we're seeing in the market, like I told you guys, is about $3 to $7 per bottle, right? So we're gonna fall somewhere in between that.
What are if I can even ask, what are the margins are on each bottle that you sell?
So it's costing us right now, and if this doesn't change with the handoff to our manufacturer, which I think it'll actually go down some, about 30 cents per bottle. So even if we went on the low end and charged $3 a bottle, we'd still be making a nice profit.
Sure. Nice, sure.
Sure.
Makes sense.
Yes. This definitely seems like a Shark Tank one.
So how do I become an affiliate now?
I saw affiliate up there on the screen.
Yeah, that's great.
And I heard someone say Shark Tank, did I?
I did. This one, I mean, there are, we see a lot of presentations, and this one I could definitely see you applying for. I don't know.
Well, here's a secret
I
with
don't
you
know if they
guys.
have somebody up there already, but you don't have any competitors in this area of plant-based formula?
We definitely have competitors.
Okay.
We have, if you may or may not be familiar with, it's a company called Elks Nutrition. And so when we first decided that, okay, yes, we're going to do this, and we started walking in the dark and everything, about a month later, this company emerges, and I'm like heartbroken. I'm thinking the world is over for a second. My husband has to kind of shake me back to reality. But I go in and I've been stalking them because I'm like, they're out here, they're doing it. That just even more so validates that there is a market out here for it. And then when I see how they're doing it, we are still completely different because they are still kind of doing the traditional, and I have this here because I've been doing just some market testing this morning, but this is just a competitor brand, right? So their brand comes in a very similar packaging. It's powder. The main thing is it's a toddler complete nutrition beverage. And so it's still not the same thing as what we are trying, right? Especially when we bring in when we tie in the subscription-based business model. So we still do have a competitive advantage, but there are, especially now, more and more brands that are wanting to pop up and kind of jump on the bandwagon. So we just have to stay true to our brand and stay true to, our target audience and just stay the course. Thank you, Anita.
Anita said, I love that yours will be in a pouch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that tablet would be amazing. Like, sorry, excuse my French, all the crap that you have to carry around. Stuff like,
yeah,
I had like a tablet, that's all I had to put in the diaper bag or whatever, or the travel bag. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What was the decision why you couldn't go that direction?
So we plan to still go that direction, but that's going to be the long game, right? And so with the ready-made formula, we did that because it's the quickest way to get speed to market, to get revenue, to be able to later on do the tablet, because there is going to be a lot more testing that comes involved. Every person that we went to, and we kind of had to piece it together, like, okay, food scientists, but then now we have to go to someone else who can actually put it into a tablet form, and that's more on the pharmaceutical side. So it's like everyone was like, yeah, it can be done, but we've never done it before. And so I realized at that point, after we continue to get those answers, that for one, it was going to be a lot more expensive. It's going to take a lot more time. And let's go ahead and, keep this in mind, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get the money coming in, and then we could, work our way to this next milestone. I think it'll be a game changer for sure, because everyone that we talked to about in the beginning, they were all for it, especially men, because they're like, listen, and when I have to wake up at 2:00 in the morning to help my wife feed the baby, I'm over here spilling milk and spilling powder, probably wasting more than I'm actually getting to the baby. And so it was a shocker that men were so bought into it. And so we still have that on a docket. In fact, we are getting a patent for it already and preparing for that next conversation. But we've just really been kind of fine-tuned with the ready-made formula so that we can stay focused, of course, because I tend to be a bit excited about the tablet. But yeah, it's still in the works, but further down the road.
And I would think that if you guys take the angle too, which you might already be probably because it's already plant-based, but just really pushing the sustainable part of it, especially like sustainable packaging. And I mean, that's kind of like, it's not kind of, it's huge. But pushing that side of it and saying we're a sustainable, like, whatever the products you use to package all that stuff would definitely attract users. So
yeah, that's a goal of ours too. We want to get the vegan, like if you guys go to, I'm pretty sure you see the vegan trademark label on different products. You see the USDA certified. So there are a couple of those that we have our eye on, and that will do even organic. I know all of those, they carry a lot of weight and credibility when we can, when you see those on a product. So we're not ignorant to that. And we definitely plan to incorporate that into our branding. We're just trying to take it one step at a time, and trying to do what makes the most sense for now, realizing that we will evolve as we continue to grow.
Yeah. I know that just led to me like hitting farmers markets, like free samples at farmers markets. That's, and natural food stores, things like that. Pop-up shops.
That's part of our first batch is going to go directly towards marketing efforts. So we'll have free samples and new mommy bags in hospitals. I love that.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Oh. Yeah, the doctor tells the
where you get
moms
the
what
stuff.
to use. That's
But you
great.
you get stuff when it like they will give you stuff to bring home. So that's a really great idea.
Yeah, there was a TV show. I won't say the name because technically, I can't say the name, but there was a TV show that someone mentioned in the room just a second ago that actually reached out to us. And so we're in that submission process right now. We're hoping that, we get that final call back, but there were about 2 stages that we had to go through. There was, 3, there was initial application, and then there was the phone screening, and then there was the video submission. And so from that point, it takes about a month to 2 months to hear back. And we're only about 2 weeks in on that wait time, that turnaround time. So hopefully, who knows, we might just be on that TV show.
Exciting.
So they want to use the product on the TV show. Am I hearing that right?
No, feature. The tank that has the fish in it.
Oh, that one.
Wink,
Sorry.
wink, nudge,
Yeah,
nudge. I
got
can't-
it. Sorry. Awesome.
And where are your ingredients sourced?
Where are they sourced?
Yeah.
A little bit of everywhere. And I'm actually interested to see, because there were some ones that have had to be changed, but I know there's some that are being sourced with here in the United States, but then we have some coming out as far as the Netherlands, because one of our sources is algae oil for the D3 vitamin. And I want to say that's the one that's coming from, the Netherlands. So we're making sure that we're sourcing the purest ingredients for sure. And unfortunately, some of them we just can't get in the US. I did want to keep it all in the US, but I also think me wanting to make sure that we hold the integrity of the ingredients and that they're as pure as they can be was far more important to me. So we have them coming from all over the country.
When I used to work at Cook's Cookies, we did kosher certification for the cookies, so they did. You might look into that. It might be important to certain buyers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
Because you see it on packaging, and you probably see it on like Gerber's or whatever. I don't know what
Mhm.
somebody's saying.
I guess
Next level after the formula to actually do like baby food, like to add that to your repertoire.
Oh, yeah. So we're looking at Sure being a one-stop brand, right? And so it's our baby right now. It's in the infancy stages. So as we grow, we want to be able to expand that product catalog to where moms come to us for their nutritional needs for their kids. So we've considered, obviously we're starting out with the plant-based milk, but then we're also looking at baby or toddler smoothies. We're looking at multivitamins. And then even at some point, we want to even go outside of this food space and maybe do, like baby socks and things. Because I'm a mom, I'm always looking at my life and I'm like, okay, what could make my life easier, right? And I know if it can make my life easier, probably a handful of moms out there could relate and they might need the same thing. So I have a whole list, like a black book that has list of different things that would just make my life easier. So at any given point, I might just pick one and add it to the product catalog.
That's great.
Anita commented in the chat. She said, I looked at your site and I did not see social media able to connect.
Yes.
Are there any available?
Yes, excuse me. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and that's a great point. So when we initially made the site, it was basically just a landing page to be able to capture the email addresses and to let people know, hey, this is on the way. But we are revamping our website, and that's going to go live August 1st. But yes, we are on Facebook and Instagram as The Sure Company.
Does anybody have any more questions?
I guess maybe my last one would be, do you ever plan to be on the shelf in stores, or is there a shelf life of your product?
There will be a shelf life. That's part of the testing that we're doing now to finalize what that's going to look like. I'm not saying that we are not going to go after shelf space, but it is not a priority right now because I just feel like we can own that process a lot better. Just going direct to consumer. Obviously, it makes more sense financially. And then once you get on the shelves, you have to get off the shelves, right? So that's a whole different kind of marketing that I'm just not ready to tackle yet. And so we're just going to wrap our heads around direct to consumer, our platform, especially because we want to do the subscription-based business model. I think it would almost be counterproductive if we were to be on the shelves and doing this subscription base, but maybe not. I just haven't thought about it enough just yet. So
That's a great answer. Thank you.
If you ever get to the point where you have the tablets and you can maybe put in some oxygen absorbers in a pouch, then maybe you could appeal to the survivalist prepper guys and say, oh, shelf life.
Stock up.
yeah. It's so funny. It's almost that I think the tablet might even be a completely different persona. Like I agree with you. It's going to be a completely different way of marketing that. And I don't think that it's necessarily going to be the same person who we are targeting right now. And so that'll be interesting to see. Like I said, men, I mean, they were really hunko about it. So.
Say it's tactical.
Tactical.
Yeah.
Has a black rifle.
Spec Ops baby formula.
Well, we wish you luck on that show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you're on, you are.
Whatever, yeah. We like the aquarium.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's one last question we need to ask you, and that is, what can the Chico community do for you?
Absolutely. I wrote down a few things prior to coming on. So Marketing strategy, I threw out a few things that we are trying to do, that we're working on, that we're hoping to accomplish. But if you guys have any feedback, anyone that would be willing to even do a one-off call or something to kind of talk through maybe some different options that we haven't discussed on the call, I'm open to that. We've even considered doing a crowdfunding campaign just because of the climate right now. We feel like, you know, moms want to get behind something like this, right? They want to have a part in something like this.
Good idea.
And so that's something that we're seriously considering. Company valuation and becoming investor ready. So I really want to get to the point where I feel super confident talking numbers, and I feel confident when I know the numbers, right? So that's part of the reason why I don't feel as confident, because we are still working on those numbers, right? We're still computing them, pulling them together. However, when it comes to like knowing how to evaluate a company, that's something that I really could use some help with, right? Knowing what we're worth. And then the FDA and legal counsel. So if there's anyone that you know, or any resources, even if it's not a person, that you could send or share to kind of help us to know how to navigate those conversations. We're ultimately going to bring on an attorney. We're actually in talks with a couple of them to just know how to carry those conversations, what to say, what not to say, so that we're not, you know, crossing any red tape. But those are our three main objectives right now, where we could really use some assistance, some support.
Awesome.
Have you looked towards your local like entrepreneurial organization, if there's one in your area? Something same as that's what we do at Chico Start, is help entrepreneurs with resources and connect them with people. Also the university, we have we just started a new mentorship program with Chico State here, where we have mentors in our own circle, but then we also have mentors that are in different departments at Chico State. So that might be something to look at. As far as I know, money's tight, but also, you know, your local SBDC might be able to give you some advice. But as far as mentorship, you might want to look into that and advisement. You know, in those areas you might be able to, especially, you know, somebody that's focused on the company valuation, the FDA stuff. Just a thought.
Okay. I'll need to take that. I don't think I may or may not have. We've had so many conversations now, but we are working with SBTDC. They actually started with us in the very beginning and have been there for the entire ride so far. And we do have a SCORE mentor. He's not in the legal space, but I might have to just double back and just see if he can help us with that.
Also, if there's any other grant opportunities, I know one of the interns we had, she was, because we're also grant funded as well, our organization, and getting somebody that's, you know, you can't do everything, but maybe turn that's what they want to do, and they have experience in finding grants for you.
Oh, yeah.
Is opengrants.io nationwide?
I think so. We're good call. Speaking of, we are partnered with opengrants.io. They're actually in Sacramento. So Dale Trabowski is the CEO and founder of that. You might want to look them up and see if they can guide you. They make the grant funding process easier.
Oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's opengrants.io.
I think they're nationwide.
I believe so too. I don't think it's just for,
Okay. I'll definitely look into them.
Yeah. When your interns looking
Eva
for
put
you.
that on there.
There it is.
There you go.
All right, now we're just gonna close it up. Just to give a huge thanks to our 1 Million Cup organizers, Chanel Hamilton and Eva Shepard. Chanel couldn't come in today, pretty sad, but
She's not.
Someone has to go there.
You did great, Ed.
thank you. She'll be back. I'd also like to give a huge thanks to our community sponsors. We have Chico Start, Grow Tech Fest, Global Entrepreneurship Network, T-Bar and Fusion Cafe, Built.com, Startup Grind, Explore Butte County, and the place we're at here right now, Stobel Coffee. So for our upcoming events, we have a Butte College Creative Space Tour. We're all going to it here, so don't be the only person not going. And it's today at 5:30 p.m. So we'll all see each other there. Again, 1 Million Cups hosts every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on Zoom. And next week we have Ryzen Design Studio with Sabrina Shankar. And if you want to also sign up for our Chico Start newsletter, you can scan the QR code on the bottom right. Or if you're interested in Chico Start and all the resources that we offer to entrepreneurs, just check out our website right here, chicostart.com. And basically, oh, and again, thank you, April, for coming here and presenting with us. We really, really appreciate you coming out, especially being on the East Coast. So, and yes, this concludes 1 Million Cups Chico.
Let's give her one last round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Edward, too, for the invite. I really appreciate all the feedback you guys gave. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Good luck to you. Wish you the best.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.